Unity currently are having their Black Friday sale, which is 50% off over 500 top assets. And I was browsing the store and I came across an asset called Peak, which I hadn't heard of before. This is it here. Like I said, it's 50% off, 26 euros, and it looked quite interesting. So there's all these inspector toolbars you could do, quick create, just lots of different stuff. So I added it to my basket, just installed it, and oh my god, like, how have I lived without this asset? This asset needs to be bought out by Unity and built just directly into the editor because it's fantastic. And I'll just show you very quickly what this asset is, why you should buy it. So if I come over to our project here, so it's just a standard scene. This is how I like to have my panels set up. I've got the inspector over here, the console down here, my project tab, game, hierarchy, etc. By default, you know, Unity looks like this, which makes the scene view even smaller. But with Peak, I can close all of this, so I don't need the inspector. I can leave the project tab, although I don't technically need it. Let's stick the console down here nice and big so we can see the console. And I don't need the hierarchy either, so I'm just going to close that. And even this, we've claimed quite a lot of space back, but it's not as great as just being able to double click and go in full screen. This is one of the great features of Peak, is that you can double click into the scene, double left click and it maximizes it, double left click comes back out of it. I mean, that in itself is a very good feature. Up here we've got our game window, which, you know, we can bring up, and then we can hit play, and we've got our game window here, so we can just have that overlaid over the inspector. We'll close the game window. We can bring up the console if we want that there. We can bring up our project browser if we want this, so, you know, we can go into, so I've got a barrel prefab here. So, you know, I can just drag that in straight from the scene. Let's just close the project browser. We can move this somewhere else if we want it down here, we can do so. We can have these either pinned like this, so they're always on screen, or we can set them to pop up. Obviously, you can only have one of these popped up at a time, so you might want them pinned. You can bring your project browser up while you're doing something like that. So just to show some of the other benefits, I'm actually just going to delete this prefab of this barrel. Just delete that. Close this window. So we've got our barrel here, which I've just called cylinder, so I'm just going to rename this to barrel. And you can see that when we click on something, this is that inspector bar that they have, that they were advertising. So in here you get a inspector just for that specific component. So you can see that I'm clicking on the transform and I've got the transform component. I can hit space and then pin that. And then maybe, you know, I could go into the capsule collider and then I could just change the radius slightly, scale it up, etc. And then once, you know, I'm happy with this, I can go back to our barrel and hit create prefab. And I'll just save this barrel into our prefabs folder down here. And now another feature is if we go over to these crates here, and we click these crates, and, you know, we don't want them to be this model anymore. We want them, you know, I want to swap them out with this barrel prefab I've just made. What I can do is I can hit Alt and R. Now I get the shortcut conflict box pop up. You know, it's because I've got Pro Builder selected and they've got similar shortcuts. For now, I'm just going to click on replace and click perform selected, but you may, depending which other assets you've got installed, you may need to, you know, figure out some of your keyboard shortcuts. I rarely use the shortcut buttons for Pro Builder, so, you know, I'm probably going to go in and I'll unbind Pro Builder's shortcuts. But for now, I'm just going to highlight replace, click perform selected, and then I can go down to our prefabs folder in our assets, and I can click on prefabs. We've got a barrel here. And then I can just, you know, replace all of our crates with barrels. And then I can select this barrel, you know, and then move them further out. So now these crates are barrels. I can select all of our barrels here and I can press Control and G to group them. And I'm just going to call this barrels times 3, you know. So now that's selected our group, and then we can move our group around. If I want to then select a barrel and, you know, just change the kind of position of that barrel in the group, I can do so. Then if I want to select the group again, I can hit space. This brings up the local hierarchy. So I can see that barrel's parent is the barrel's group that's just been made. And then I can see that level is the parent of our barrels group. So I'm just going to double click and select our barrels group, and then I'll move our barrels, you know, over to this side. Why not? Okay, so I can click on our barrels. I'm just going to create a prefab for these. Let's just drop it in our prefabs folder, and we'll just call it barrels times 3. And now if I hold Control Shift, I get this creation widget, and then I can press Control Shift and then just left click over here. And then I can go in and create kind of any sort of 3D object I want, just like normal. But let's just go to our prefabs folder and put our barrels ×3 in. And then say, you know, I'm going to rotate this barrel, and I actually want the barrels to be set like this. So then I can press space, go back up to the barrels prefab, and then I can apply the overrides there, and then suddenly we've got our barrels prefabs just updated without ever having to go over into the inspection window on the right hand side and then go across to the hierarchy to select the different parent and then go back and then do it. You know, it's all just there kind of with a keyboard shortcut. One of the other features which I found really good is if I just quickly rename this cube to behind cube, this will make sense in a second, and then in front cube. Say you're working on a 2D or 2.5D game and it's from this perspective and you can't easily fly up and click the kind of crate that you want. From this angle, I can right click and I'll send a probe out and probe kind of what's on the screen. If I right click, it'll show me now what exactly I can see, what's in my view. So I've got my in front cube, which is parented to the level. I've got the behind cube, which again is parented to the level. I have the cube, which is this actual map here, which should be parented to the level. I don't know why it's not. So if I right click and I want to select the behind cube, and then, you know, I can just scale, maybe that cube's a bit bigger, move it up slightly. So yeah, that's just a great little thing. So if I don't have to fly up to do it, you know, I can be working in this. So I know that my character's behind the wall somewhere over here. So if I right click, there you go, I can get my character and then I can, hello character. That's pretty powerful. And then the last thing I kind of want to cover is if I press Control F, that brings up our actual main hierarchy, which you'd normally have down here. Then if I wanted to find, and then I can obviously search within the hierarchy as well. So for my barrels, and I can get my barrel, barrel, and then you double click to go to it and press F, and then you fly to the barrel. You also notice that I can access the components directly from the hierarchy as well. So this selection of barrels, let's just double click. So it's this selection here. I press Control F, I've got these barrels, and I can actually just access the transform component here and move them how I want. If I press space while hovering over this pop-up, it becomes a pinned thing, so I can, you know, navigate somewhere else, and then I've still got access to this. And I feel like I've said this a few times, but another thing I really like about this is if we go over to this window here, I can go to my bean and I can get my materials directly from here. So if I just press space and move this out of the way, and then if I want to change the color of our bean to kind of like a pinky tone, I can do that directly from here. I don't have to, you know, scroll down a long list. I don't have to go and find the specific material in my project folder, or, you know, go onto the inspector on the right hand side, scroll down, find the material, expand it, try and tweak it. I can just do it straight away from in the scene view, and it's so much more immersive. So yeah, really, you don't really have to come out of full screen, so you can just be doing stuff, you know, so much more immersively. And yeah, just a phenomenal asset. And another brief, you know, shout out for assets is the shaders I'm using. They are the Flat Kit Toon Shading and Water. There's some crazy good shaders in here, and again, that's €17, 50% off. So yeah, if you want to get Peak, there will be a link in the description below. The Unity Black Friday sales going until early December. But I mean, even for full price, this is great functionality. So for 50% off, it's definitely a must buy. But to be honest, even at full price, this is a must buy. So if you're watching this video and the sales ended and you don't know when the next sale is going to be, just pick this up. You're going to save yourself so much time. Time is money, so therefore you're making money. Okay, I know that was quite loose, but you catch my drift. Yeah, this is a great asset. Hopefully Unity will integrate this for free into its own software, you know, at some point. Maybe they'll buy them out or kind of copy it or something, I don't know. But I just thought I'd give a little bit of a shout out, a little bit of a walkthrough on this product. And yeah, like I said, links below. If you like this video, make sure to hit that like button to let me know. And in the meantime, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.